Welcome back, guys, to another chatty tattoo video. And do you know, I've just realised something. One, how dark is this top or this jumper on this background? But I've just realised, yeah, frankly, I can roll this up, but I've just thought I should have just worn a short sleeve to have shown this next tattoo off a bit more, shouldn't I, really? But anywho, actually, maybe not, because I've just realised it will be backwards because of the way this is filmed. Oh no, it looks backwards to me, but no, it's filming the right way. Ugh. Anywho, so yes, so this is about my 5th tattoo, and that, yes, I have collected a few of them since I started this series or whatever, and that, and yeah, oh, it's sat in the same position for too long. That's better. And that, so yes, so after I got my poppy in June 2019, yeah, basically I went from having 1 tattoo on the 1st of February to having 4 tattoos on June 15th in 2019. So I think I probably thought, you know what, that's enough. That is a bit, that I thought that was a lot. Oh yeah, never did I learn that 2020, considering we had a pandemic, yeah, I actually got more in 2020 than I did in 2019 somehow. But anywho, rambling as usual. So yeah, so my 5th tattoo was this. So yeah, oh, I will insert a picture because that lighting is a little bit weird. Hopefully you can read it well. I'm not sure if you'll be able to read it. Actually, I'll just leave that. Like, nah, you can't really see it very well like that, can you? And yeah, that was my very first tattoo I had done in 2020. Had it done on the 5th of February 2020. Yeah, I have a bit of a my other half says he calls me the calendar because of how good I'm remembering the dates and that. But no, the main reason why I remember that tattoo. First things first, let's talk about what it actually is. Well, as you can see, it's a script tattoo, and it is actually in Scottish Gaelic. Now, I didn't choose to get it in Gaelic for any specific reason. Well, actually, that's not true. It's not like I got this quote and I decided I wanted it in Gaelic. It's this is my Witcher 3 tattoo. Yes, I am a gamer, and one of the few games that I have played, I'm very selective in which games I play, and Witcher 3 has been, in fact, the whole franchise has been a big part of my life. Yeah, one thing I have up on my other half is the fact that I've played through the whole Witcher 1 game. He's unable to do that because he doesn't play on PC games. Never been able to get through Witcher 2, unfortunately, but anywho, that's besides the point. I've loved this series and this game, and yes, I have watched the series on Netflix, before you ask. And that, can't wait for season 2 in December. And that, but do you know, I've just realised, where did I get the idea of this? That is actually tough, because I remember I was playing through the game again, and if I remember correctly, I think I'd finally got through a certain part of the game that I'd always struggled to get through. And I wanted something to symbolize it, but as you've probably noticed, I mean, yeah, I mean, this is a Skyrim tattoo and that. I wanted something to represent Witcher 3, and I don't like doing the obvious. You know, anyone who wanted an obvious Skyrim tattoo would have done the diamond dragon thing. Obvious thing would have been the Witcher's medallion. I didn't want that. I wanted something unusual. And when it boiled down to it, I've always loved, most of all, the main storyline of that, all about Ciri. And yeah, it's starting to come back to me now. And I got the best ending where she's made a Witcher. And there's, if she's made a Witcher, because there's three endings, you know, she can become a Witcher, she could become an Empress, or unfortunately she dies. Yeah, dying. Yeah, that was the first ending that I got with her. Not fun, that's for sure. And that, but if she becomes a Witcher, she gets given a very special sword, and there's two options you can have etched on her sword. You can either have her pet name, or you can have this quote on that sword. And the author, because of course The Witcher originates from a series of books. I can't actually pronounce the author's name, unfortunately. I can flag his name up here somewhere, probably. And he used a lot of the Celtic languages to create what he called elder speech. So some of the names, for example, in in any of the Witcher games, you might hear Welsh, or in this case, this was Gaelic. And when I heard it pronounced in the game, but more importantly, when I found out the translation of it, I loved how it sounded in Gaelic, but I just loved also what the quote was. And the way you pronounce it in Gaelic is Devon hen ungladiel morphine hihisen, or at least I think that last bit is always a little hard for me to pronounce. But yeah, I'm fairly certain it's, yes, Devon hen ungladiel morphine hihisen, which means the flash that cuts through darkness, the light that breaks the night. And when I heard that, I thought, yeah, that's different. It's something that represents Witcher. It represents the main storyline. And it's different. It's not just the classic tattoo you'd get from it. And I never thought of it at the time, but I thought of it afterwards. As you know from my first tattoo, I lost my dad in August of 2018, and then I got that as a memorial to him, basically, and and by this point, I think I had, you know, this was what, a year and a half later. I think I was starting to, I don't think I would say I was fully, like, had fully grieved for him, because, you know, when you lose someone that close to you, it does take a while for you to do that. But I think I was coming through the most of it. And I either thought of it literally maybe just before I was getting the tattoo, or maybe it was just a little afterwards. But I suddenly thought, the flash that cuts through darkness, the light that breaks the night. And what struck me about that is, it makes me think, do you know what? I have just come through a dark period in my life, and I'm now coming through the other side. You know, I've gone through the darkness and I've come through the light. And I thought, do you know what? That is actually a really positive quote of any situation or whatever. And that. So as soon as I thought of that, then I remember the only other issue I had with it is I was getting really, really fussy on font. Um, yes, this was the first. I mean, I suppose that does count as script work, but this was my first proper script work tattoo. Yeah, I seem to be a bit of a collector of script tattoos, and it's definitely not going to be my last one, that's for sure. And that probably will get more script tattoos in the future, I imagine. And that. Anyway, I digress. But I finally found the font that I really liked, and I'd had this is another thing that I've liked. A lot of my tattoo artists have been recommendations that I've had, and a dear friend of mine and that had recommended the tattoo studio that she'd gone to, which was the Tattoo Den in Huntingdon in Cambridgeshire. And that. And I don't know what made me think of it, but I just thought, do you know what? Why don't I just message them and that? And I'd sent over my idea to them and that. And then one time I found I was over near the studio and that I had to go over to Huntingdon for something else or whatever. And I thought, do you know what? I've got some time to kill before I go back home. So I thought I'd pop in and that. And I'd sent over the quote and all of that lot. And they gave me the price for it. And do you know what? Even to this day, I still can't believe he actually only quoted me £50. And I'm thinking, I know. One thing you don't do is you don't go to cheap artists because you get cheap work. But Dan, he's been at that point, he'd been tattooing for like nearly 35 years. You know, he was an old pro, if you know what I mean. And all of that lot. And obviously I thought, well, obviously he doesn't need to overly charge. You know, he doesn't have excessively high hourly rates, because he said to me, yeah, we could probably get that done within an hour. And he pretty much did. He had it all done in like about 45 minutes. And that, so when I went in, for another reason that I can't go into, that's too personal, but I remember it was on January the 22nd, and I thought, do you know what? I actually sat on it. And in fact, when I say I sat on it, I literally slept on it. And I can't even remember what it was, but I don't remember being kept up all night with it. But I do remember almost like I'd been dreaming about this tattoo or some aspect of it. And when I woke up the next day, I thought, no, I know. And I thought, yeah. And I had some money issues, but I got them sorted. So I thought, do you know what? I can't afford to get this done. But this is the reason why I still remember vividly the fact I got it done on February the 5th, because I thought, wait, there's just one thing though. I haven't got any aftercare, and I since discovered, and in fact I have done another video, you may have seen it, where I actually did it with this exact tattoo. I tried out a new second skin method called Tattoo Med, and I bought it on the roll. And in fact, can you believe this, countless tattoos later, and more than one layer has been put on, that roll is still going, like, and we're more than a year and a half in. Yeah, buying them in like 5-meter rolls, that is a really good idea on tattoos. So I had to wait for that to come, and because it wasn't like prime delivery or anything, and I knew it wasn't going to get to me until like maybe the last couple of days in June. And also, he doesn't work every single day. I think he takes like Monday and Tuesday off, so we can have like a long weekend and that. So I had that in the back of my head, and I'm thinking, I've got to wait until this date when I know I've got the second skin. And I thought, well, maybe I could get it done. And then I remembered, no, I was going to a very dear friend's wedding on February the 1st. Yes, on my 1-year anniversary of my very first tattoo, which I thought was quite a, and of course first day of well, officially our first day of Brexit as well in this country, since we left the EU on the 31st of January 2019. and that. And I thought, do I want a brand new tattoo that I'm healing at a wedding? No. So I thought, no, even though, you know, I mean, it wasn't that long, but I don't know why I was really impatient to get it. So I booked myself in for February the 5th. You know, did the usual, had a big breakfast, went over there, had it done, all of that. Like, you could see the video again and that, on this tattoo and that. And some people say, you know, ooh, bicep tattoos, and I thought, well, this is good. And I did inquire about this because I'm also in a tattoo Facebook group, and this was also the first tattoo that I had laying down, actually, which, you know, because they need to keep this nice and flat. Paying for this, it was interesting. It was, you can actually see it in the video. It almost felt as if like he was really sort of trying to stretch the skin as far as possible so he could get it really, really. And I think that's the reason why it, you know, it does still look good. That and the fact that I keep it out of the sun and I wear SPF on my tattoos as well. That's another one of my tricks. And that and everything and that. But he yeah, he went to work with it, and yeah, 45 minutes later, I mean, it was stingy, believe me. There was a few sharp moments here and there, but you know, all I'm going to say is when I get to talking about this one, what was that in pain compared to that, if you know what I mean? So yeah, and I had it done, and then went to Costa afterwards, actually, and do you know, weirdly, the one thing I did have on this one, which was the first time I'd ever had it, is this was the first time I ever had the itchy phase with it, and all I'm going to say is itchy phase on healing tattoos, not fun. But I've had it worse on other tattoos than this one, let's put it that way. So yeah, that's the whole meaning behind this tattoo. So thank you very much, guys.